thanks for joining me on the Rundown with Ramon. We help you live your best life and or grow your business. Today, I'm talking to Jason Hill, who's the founder, I believe, I should have clarified that first, of Owwll and doing some other things as well. And I'm Ramon Ray. If you want to get to know me better, you can find me at RamonRay.com and all across the internet. And thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon, because if you weren't here, well, we wouldn't have a show. So Jason, how are you this morning? And as we record this, and thanks so much for taking the time to be here with my audience. I hope you're well and your family as well.
Yeah, I can't complain. When you got a Starbucks in your hand, 9 o'clock in the morning, you start the day with a lot of energy. So I'm excited. We're having a great week with Owwll right now. We did a really cool podcast last Friday called 12 Hours of Wisdom with a LinkedIn guru. And
nice.
The internet saw it all go down, and we had a lot of people download Owwll, and a lot of people have been giving us such positive feedback that Owwll is making impact to their lives. So awesome week so far.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And right at the start, by the way, I want to get into the story, but I always like to ask my guests, right, tell us right now who they are today. Just right at the top in a few lines. What is Owwll? Who are you? Who do you serve? How do we find it? Before we show it the screen and all that, just right at the top, who are we talking to? Jason Hill is who are you, Jason?
Yeah, so Owwll was created during the COVID days, right? I got in my car and I was like, this makes no sense. Everyone is craving to talk to one another. But we all shifted to texting and messaging through social media platforms. And I just want to call someone on my way to work. I wanted to gain knowledge. I wanted to collaborate with people. So that's really all Owwll is. It's a collaboration tool. It's a networking tool. You can go into it literally right now and look who's available to speak with and just pay to talk to them. You could talk to them about their expertise. You could talk about the football game yesterday. You could just try to create an opportunity to be on their podcast potentially, whatever it might be. Owwll is LinkedIn on steroids, right? Ooh. If you ever use LinkedIn and you wanted to network with people, you're messaging them, but eventually you want to jump on a meeting, right? Well, with Owwll, it just makes it super simple. Just go in and call people. And if you're an expert, you could charge whatever you want. You literally could say, I'm $100 to get in touch with and tell your audience, hey, I'm available once a week at a specific time. And you leave it up to them if they want to chat with you based on that range. The market, of course, never lies. Right. So yeah, Owwll's the first platform that connects people, one-on-one through live audio calls. And you could talk about personal stuff or for business instantly. And that's what we're really all about. And we'll get into detail because we're going to share the actual app screens today. So people will of course get to see it in real action.
So the day before you did Owwll, who was Jason? Were you like on your couch, there's some, depressed, lonely guy sitting on your couch eating Doritos, and you were like, you know what, I got nothing to do with my life, tired of sleeping on mom's couch? I mean, who are you the day before Owwll started? Tell us who Jason was.
I'm still the same guy. I am.
Who is he? Tell us.
So people know me in South Florida as a super connector. I started getting that nickname. So I started in the financial service industry up in New York, right out of college. And I grinded my way to building clients up there, doing seminars and word of mouth referrals, right? And I moved to South Florida 7 years ago. I'm married with 2 children, and I wanted to create, a lifestyle in the sun, warm weather. I always loved it. I was always a boater growing up. And pretty much when I got down here, I had to do something different. So you see up here, this thing called a shrimp tank.
I do. I was wondering, I was going to ask you that.
I have 2 podcasts, the Owwll podcast, as well as the shrimp tank. But my shrimp tank was my first show.
Okay.
I started it 4 or 5 years ago, and we have now hit, I think, 265 episodes, all in person, right? So in person, very hard, right? To get someone walk through the front doors, cancellations, COVID days. Right. And really, I started interviewing people to hear their story, their journey about running a business.
Okay.
And of course, like many podcasters, podcasting is a way to build relationships. Right. And I built some of the most amazing relationships in the last 5 years through podcasting because I knew no one when I moved to Florida. No one, a couple friends here or there, but like no one in business. So I started podcasting with the Florida Atlantic University, their Adams Center for Entrepreneurship. And it's been a great collaboration from day one. They trust me to kind of do all the bookings, spend money on all the technology, and they're the co-host with me. And now we run it at the FAU College of Business. So how cool is this? It gets walked in through front doors and gets to be like, oh my God, I'm giving back, to society by educating students about entrepreneurship. We have students sit in all the time. We have other
I see. Students sit in while you're doing it live.
Oh yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, and what was the partner again? Florida what?
FAU, Florida Atlantic University.
You got it. Okay.
Remember, they were the team, the underdogs. They made it to the final four, of course,
Got it.
this year in March Madness, of course. So pretty much like, who am I, right? I'm this financial
Mhm.
advisor. I'm a
Got it.
podcast host, and then all of a sudden COVID hits, and I'm like, here's my aha moment.
Mm.
Here's something that I believe in so much that I'm gonna go and build it, right? I went to developers. I say, can you build a technology where we can just chat with people, right? That's it. It was a simple concept at first. And then they sat down with me and said, look, you got to pay a team of developers to like put it on
Right.
paper. We got to know what technology has to go into it. And I did it from one of my past podcast guests, right? Because I
Love it.
interviewed all these amazing, entrepreneurs, and I knew one that specifically knew how to build apps really well. And before you know it, 4 weeks later, I'm sitting in my office all by myself because no one was coming to the office during the COVID days. I'm talking when like you couldn't go to work days,
Hmm.
right? And I was the only one going to work because I had my own private office. And I just had fun with it. Literally 4 weeks in a row with 7, 8 developers overseas. And we were literally just like building, what is the name, right? Owl's Bird of
Mm.
Wisdom and Intelligence. Then it was like, okay, well, how do we create like the home screen? What would the home screen look like? And you're looking at all these different apps and you're getting ideas from all of them because we're all users at the end of the day.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then sticker shock. They're like, this is how expensive it will be to be built. And then I'm like, oh
And by the
crap.
way, can you tell us what is that? Again, I know there's various things, but we know
Yeah,
apps like Uber cost billions a month to, I'm making it up,
billions.
billions
Yeah.
a month and trillions a month. But something like this to start it, so we can learn, if you don't mind, is this about a few $100,000 or like $1 in a bag of chips? What would something
Yeah.
like this cost to build? Not to take your idea, but build it and then maintain
No,
it. There's
that's
maintenance costs too. Give me a sense of what that's
No,
like.
that's a great question because a lot of people make errors when it comes to building
Sure.
mobile apps. 99% of mobile apps fail,
Mm.
and most people want to build marketplace style apps, right? You
Right.
think of eBay, right? There's gonna be a seller and a buyer,
Hmm.
and like that,
Hmm.
like you're like you can't fathom how that came alive. Or Uber, like how the hell did they start in the first city,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's nuts, right? So with Owwll, same thing. Two people are calling one another. So when it first started, it's called an MVP, minimal
Okay.
viable product, right? And most minimal viable products, like it's up to you. Like you
Hmm.
could start some with Owwll for $75,000 and really strip it down with something basic, and maybe 4 to 6 developers building it in the course of, let's say, a year. Or you could say, let's build it with more features, and it'll be
Right.
150,000.
Got
Or
it.
a
Okay.
little bit further along and get it 200, but somewhere like the 75,000 to 200,000 range. As I started showing it to other developers, because I did shop it around, of course,
Sure.
and eventually kind of go with like what you believe is needed to get it out to the market, which
Right.
is close to the $200,000 number, to
Sure.
be
Sure.
honest.
Yeah, because there
And
is a pro and
then,
con, right? MVP or not. Like you can do it,
yeah,
low it, but then people touch it and they're like, "This is crap." So you got to figure out what
and
minimal you
also
want.
and also recognize that I looked at it from the angle of being uh, in the market when people were still at home, right?
Hmm.
Because the
Hmm.
earlier we were going to get it out, the more people were sitting at home bored, wanting to try new things,
Hmm.
and they wanted human interaction. So I did the opposite. I said, let's go full throttle. Let's build this thing in 8 months, and instead of 2 years. Like a lot of apps take 2 years to build.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I said, let's go all in really quickly. And I did a lot of research to look at why apps failed. And most of the
Hmm.
time they failed really because of money, right?
Yeah.
And most people
Yeah.
they start with the MVP. The MVP comes out and it has a lot of bugs. And then they show it to some friends, but then they can't even get enough people to download it because if it's
Hmm.
two-sided,
Hmm.
how hard it is to get 2 people to do something these days, right? So in our world, like thankfully, like I had a decent runway. I'm a financial service professional, so
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
kind of knew the money element, but also, I have a big Rolodex, right? I
Sure.
have a lot of past guests on our podcast. I have marketing experience and sales experience, so I really just grinded, to get people into the app during our beta days,
Hmm.
and that's kind of what blossomed the new features that came out. And I think the biggest misconception is you build it and you're done spending money. It's the opposite. It's
Hmm.
like whatever it's costing you to build, it's going to cost you the same price to maintain.
Hmm.
And that's where a lot of people don't think of. They say, oh, well, I'll just build it. Everyone's going to come. I'll make money. And then I'll worry. Then I'll have money to then keep going. But no, most apps you make typically, depending on your product, don't make money in the early
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah.
And then you raise capital potentially because you got to get the capital to get
Hmm.
employees
Hmm.
to then market the product, and especially you're going direct to consumer, very hard to market. So what
Yeah.
ends up happening is most angel investors and venture capitalists don't want to get involved. They see no traction. and then you have an issue because you run out of money, right? So it's a marketing and money problem, right?
Yeah,
They
no,
both
for
go
sure.
really hand in hand. And if you really think about any business, that's why most businesses fail. They fail because they can't market it to get enough foot traffic through their doors, right? If you look at a restaurant, why it fails. When you look at financial service professionals, why they fail. It's like they just can't get in front of enough people, coaches, right? The list goes on and on why people fail. But the number one is typically, someone with marketing and getting people through the doors at the end of the day. So thankfully, I have a really good support system from all the years going back to your original question to financial services to the shrimp tank and me taking that jump at the right time, not when I had 5 contacts, when I was 21 years old and I was over my head, right? A lot of app founders fail when they're in their 50s and 60s, even they have big Rolodex. It's just so hard to get people to take action today. It's a very crowded space. It's very saturated.
The relationships are important for sure. And by the way, what is Paul? We're gonna, Jason, we're gonna get into the app in a minute here. But Jason, what is your marketing plan as we're learning what you're doing and as others are learning? Because as you said, marketing, you built it. That's done. And I'm sure there's some monthly or whatever, every month or whatever it is, you got to pay a team and pay the carriers or whatever it is to do an app. There's that, whether you're making money or not. Jason has to pay money to somebody and something every month. But what is your marketing plan? What have you done that's worked? And what are you saying, Ramon, here's where we're probably going to go in the next year or two. Teach us, what have you done that you're like, this works phenomenal, or we tried this and frankly, it sucked. What are some things you're doing to get the word out besides being on here with Ramon Ray, the rundown with Ramon?
So it's everything, right? From the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep. Weekends, it's I'm sitting on the soccer field watching my son to doing stuff in between. You have to be all in, seriously. And it goes from the inside of the app to the outside of the app to in-person events. So literally everything. I mean, what that's a great question, because sometimes people just like, oh yeah, you just do a little marketing. It's like, no, that's the foundation of scaling any platform or any business. And what I'm about to share, you're going to be like, holy crap, like there is so much going on behind the scenes. So in the early days, it was going in the inboxes on LinkedIn and literally messaging me like, hey, you look like a good fit for this platform. I just launched it. We're in beta. Would you like to try it out? And just being genuine, right? Just pitching people. So that was one. Posting on social media, specifically LinkedIn, did really well. Posting on Instagram, stories, tagging people, commenting. So the reason why I'm doing this in between is like, you got to be quick, when someone messages you, because you got their attention, you see they're online. Next, Clubhouse launched. So I would go into rooms in Clubhouse and speak about the platform, right? And say, hey, look, Clubhouse is great, with groups, but what about one-on-one, right? We're better one-on-one than their platform because we have real money going on, where theirs is, one-on-one conversations for free. And that's awkward at times. So, I was in there. Then, I said, well, we got to do something bigger. So let's incentivize people within the app. Word of mouth is so powerful. So every friend you refer, they get $10, you get $10, and every person has a referral code. So we had to build that, right? That wasn't part of the MVP. So that's complicated because you're like, I want to do this, but it takes 3 months to build. So we built out a referral program in the app to reward people. And also I could control it. If I want to put it at $20 or $5, I can hit a switch right now as we're speaking to alter it. So that's it. Then you want to reward your current users. So we started doing contests, literally Amazon gift cards, Owwll dollars. And then all of a sudden, like, wait, I need a way to give people Owwll dollars. So you had to build more features, right? Bonuses, right? And all this has to be self-calculated in the app. You have to track every penny. Very, very complicated. So then, okay, so we got bonuses in the app, rewarding word of mouth, right? Because you want to get super fans, right? And word of mouth, all over. They're at events they want to talk about. I'm like, well, we need brand ambassadors, right? Brand ambassadors will represent the brand. We look at all these energy drinks, right? Like Celsius and Bang Energy. They always have all these brand ambassadors going city to city, and everyone's so excited. Like, those are the brand ambassadors of those energy drinks. So I wanted that same impact. So then we had to build it in the app. You got to build a percentage to the brand ambassadors that they receive from referring people, right? So we built that in the app, and then you have to do legal documents with the brand ambassadors. Not so easy, right? To do it professionally, you want to do it
and automate it and all that too, which is more, again, it's
your
yin and yang. Yeah.
They represent your brand. Like, what happens if they're sharing your logo in the wrong place and they're not representing it properly?
I can see Jason waking up like, wait a minute. We don't
Oh,
support like killing baby chipmunks. Why is my, whatever it is, I'm teasing, but like,
of course.
it's like, yeah, I get it. Go ahead. Yeah. And by the
Yeah.
way,
So
that's
like,
how we connected, right? Meaning I knew of Al,
yeah,
but can
word
I
of
shout
mouth.
out the name of the person who connected us? Can I shout out
Yeah,
her name?
yeah. She's
So
a rock
Stars
star.
Tina is like, oh my God, I'm a brand ambassador. I love Al. She's like, I love Jason Ramon. You guys should talk, because she knows I love
Yeah.
doing this and I have a network of thousands of, she's like, so I've heard of it. So this is an example. Jason didn't reach out, meaning he's reached out to people, but now that he's growing, his ambassadors are waving the Owl flag and connecting him and the Owl brand. Continue on, please.
Yeah, and then the brand ambassadors, make so much impact to the community.
Yeah.
They wear T-shirts like this one, right? Some of them have bought banners like this one.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening is when they refer someone, it's a lot different than just say I'm referring someone for $10 like everybody else. They refer someone and say, I want you to have a good experience. Call me on the Owwll app, and I'm going to give you tips. So a lot of people out there, when you see the posts on social media, they keep saying the word community. And there's a lot of organizations that they're right on the wall, right? Like we're one big community, but pardon my French, it's bullshit, right? No one believes it. They're like, we're not a community. Like the leader is not really real. They're not in the app. They're not in the business, right? They say it on a wall, and that's something you cannot fake. Right. When it comes to the Owwll community, it's people like Stars Tina that will tell the audience that she comes and onboards, call me. I want to show you how to use this app the proper way. So you get a lot of value out of it. So, when they call her, then she also is telling people, hey, you got to talk to this person now because you could benefit from that individual. You get on their podcast, you guys will definitely connect. So what's happening in Owwll is people are jumping on one-on-one audio calls and then connecting the dots to other people. So that's what's building the community, but it starts at the base. It starts with me as a leader, giving back to my brand ambassadors. I connect them behind the scenes. I'm a super connector. Remember that. I said, if I have someone on the Shrimp Tank or the Owwll podcast, and I know that you could benefit, Raymond, I'm going to literally send you a text message or a message on socials, like, you got to meet this person that just downloaded Owwll. They are the perfect fit. So they get a lot of value under the hood that no one ever sees. And we have a brand ambassador meeting once a week. So we all connect. They ask me questions, and I'm very transparent. I tell them, like, look, guys, I'm like, we're throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall, and we're hoping stuff sticks, and we're trying to get this thing to our next goal is 100,000 users. We're over 6,000 right now.
Congratulations.
I go, we got to get to this. I go, 6,000. People said we would never get there. We're there. I go, now next goal, 100,000. And impact millions of people if we get to that level, of course. Because once you get to 100, then the next is millions.
Yeah,
and everyone knows, they're like, this is so easy of a concept. You talk to someone and then you feel it in the heart, and it resonates. So we're really just in a marketing situation now where we just know that it's word of mouth. It's that, and look, yes, we've tried Facebook ads. Didn't work as well because it's not that community side feel as much. We're working right now on cold emails. We're working with a company that's starting to blast emails. That's something that we hope works. And then of course, I've hired people locally, and now they're onboarding brand ambassadors, and they're out at networking events, because at the end of the day, it's networking events mean a lot too. Like I played pickleball last night, and then afterwards we grabbed dinner, and 2 people downloaded out. So the truth is, like, I am a machine. Everywhere I go, it's like, hey, check out this app. But ready? Someone says it before me. I'm not like, check out this app. No, at dinner last night, someone else whipped out the app and like, oh yeah, it's like, you should talk with Jay. Like, here, look at his app. And he's like, and I joke, I'm like, do the elevator pitch. Let's see it. And he's pitching him, and it's funny to listen to, like, how he interprets it and sharing it, and then the person downloads it. So it's like, everyone becomes a raving fan when they see it, because it's really simple. It's an app that you call people, but it has so many, features and boundaries that protects the users. And today,
which we're going to show in a second here. Yes.
Everyone wants protection. They don't want to just be on a platform and feel like, okay, it's another platform where people can attack me. No, it's a platform that protects you and makes it very professional, which, going back to why it's LinkedIn on steroids. At the end of the day.
And I know we'll show this in a second, but before we do it, Jason, I just want to get the context done. You've said community many times, and I know I'll understand it when I see it, but community is something, but I thought Owwll, though, coming in was something. I want to talk to Jason or famous person or non-famous person. I want to talk to the expert on carpet laying or Facebook ads, whatever. I can click, pay, and talk to them. I don't need community for that. So help just clarify community versus I want to talk to the lawyer in Topeka, Kansas. I pay them and I'm done. Those could be two separate things. I don't need community
it could.
for that. Talk to me.
It could be, right? But what ends up happening is, right, when you have one-on-one conversations, right, a lot of times it's one-to-one, then one turns into many, right? You've been in that situation where all of a sudden you're speaking in front of 500 people because of a one-on-one conversation that occurred, right? And that's where the community element comes into play, because we're sharing your social media links on your profile. You could put up to 4 and whichever ones you want. So what ends up happening is it's all starting with a one-to-one, but then like things happen. Like right now, somebody posted, we have a Facebook community group that there's a meetup in Canada. Like how crazy is that? Like 7, 8 people from the Owwll community have all spoken and now meeting up. So that's where the community element comes into play, right? And it's similar. Like think about LinkedIn. It's all similar. Like the post and then one-on-one messaging, but then there's LinkedIn meetups. Well, it's like what's happening on Owwll. It's like it starts with a one-on-one, and then you just don't know where it's going to go. People have met for coffee. People have met for lunch, dinner, even a date. You know, we've seen on this app where they happen to be in the same area and they've connected and went on a date together, right? So like it is just this community because we got the Facebook group running and people post, hey, I need help with this. Is there someone in the community?
I see. Beyond the transaction, meaning, and again, we'll see if I want to set the stage here. So once they're in, well, you know what? Why don't we show it? And then I'll ask more questions. And by the way, Jason, while we do it, breaking news. Hey, everybody, have the crowd step back. Police, there's too many people in our studios. Please have them rush back. We're bombarded with thousands and millions of people are here. Jason trying to get into the Ramon Ray studios. Joking. Because we're going to break news today, Jason. I'm going to download the Owwll app right now while you're getting ready to show it. So Jason, take it over. I think you can share your screen when you're ready. And I'm going to download this because I'm going to be customer number 6,500 or whatever it may be.
Nice. Let me do a full refresh so people can see the splash screen. So
Ooh,
it is.
love it. It looks cool.
Learn, grow. So right off the bat, when you log in, when you are an expert, you get this availability screen, right? So what does that mean, right? You see me right here. See how
Here's
I'm just
Tina
with the gray dot. So if I go live, what that's meaning is if I go live for 4 hours, all of a sudden, hold on.
This is live, everybody. That's okay. Oh, I know Paul too. You got all the big dogs, man.
Oh yeah. So look, see how the timer starts? I'm going live. What that means is now all of a sudden you see how I'm live and it's splashing green. So someone could call me. It's a 10-minute call that it starts with, and it's $99. You're buying blocks of time. So that means is I'm gonna click Stars Tina. So here's Stars Tina, right? We start. She has a banner. She has a headshot. And we could see right there, life and health coach. And then we see location, New Jersey. You happen to live near her. Now you're like, oh, that's great. I can connect with her in person. And then she lists 3 expertises: coaching, entrepreneurship, and fitness. Right.
Love it.
And then there's a call button, $3 for 10 minutes. And what that means is if you click it, which we'll do right now, you could put in a topic and agenda. And if I hit call, $3 is coming out of my account balance. I have $579. You put money in via a credit card before. Doesn't bill you after. So that way it's preloaded. And her phone starts ringing. It's an in-app phone call. She's getting paid to connect with, to share knowledge or just network with her. And before that call, though, you're going to read her bio, right? She's going to put
what it is.
Sample questions like, how can I have more energy? How can I stay committed to fitness journey? And I'm like, wait, that's something I want to learn about. Or business. You can see a digital course, right? So she catches your attention on the things she can help you with, right? And then you could even click reviews. You could say, okay, is this person really legitimate? And you could see like, who has she spoken to? And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, I know these people. Like I know Kristen and I really respect Kristen's opinion. Well, and you're like, she wrote, Tina is full of energy and a great coach to connect to, right? So we really hold people accountable because the people on Owwll self-police it. Very similar like how the Fiverr or Upworks of the world work, where they leave reviews based on the work being provided. But now you can take it a step further, right? You can see calls taken, and you can see how many people are following her. And ready for
Yep.
this? We could click her Instagram account,
Ooh, I like the
right? So
connectivity there.
she's not reestablishing herself on a new platform from zero.
Right.
She's saying like, look at me here, right? I have 4,700 followers. And then you could see like she's a true professional. You go over to LinkedIn, do the same thing, her website, right? So it's really easy because people can share their other socials,
That's
and
right.
then you feel comfortable calling them. You could always hit the share profile button, right? And then I could send it to you. I'd say, hey, I just spoke with Tina. You should speak to her too, Raymond. So that's where the community element comes into play, because you're allowed to share your profile. And then
Got it.
right here, I'm gonna unfollow her because this is
Okay.
important. When you click someone's profile, maybe she's not available right now. There's no live
Right.
flash, right? What you do is you hit the follow button, and we could follow with
Love it.
notifications or without. And when you follow someone with notifications, what ends up happening is you see this one right here, this notification.
Yep. Right
So
below him.
Sebastian Rusk is online for the next 30 minutes.
I know Sebastian.
He was our
That's
podcast.
Owwll.
He was our
Yeah.
podcast guest yesterday, right? So now he's live on Owwll, right? So when you literally click that, it goes right to their
Wow.
profile. So all of a sudden you follow people. So
I
the
see.
beauty of our platform is, let's say you were dying to talk to Tina, right? You saw her on Clubhouse, you saw her in a room talking, and you're like, I would love to have a one-on-one. But everyone wants a one-on-one with her, right?
Right.
She's got so much
She
energy.
stars Tina, of course.
She's got so many incoming messages. She's not going to take every message and be like, let's jump
Right.
on a Zoom. But now she could say, well, the serious people are going to pay $3,
That's right.
right? So right off the bat, 100 messages turn into the 10 real people, the 10 people that are willing to pay $3. And
That's
now
right.
she has a genuine person on the other line. And after the call ends, she also has, also call log, right? Now she go back and look at all the people have called her. So in the
I
future,
love this.
right, she could call them back if she needs something, because it's a two-way street. Just because
Right.
people are
Right.
paying to call you doesn't mean that they don't have the knowledge. And we go a little deeper into the app. Maybe you want knowledge on LinkedIn. Well, here we go. We have a LinkedIn strategist, right? And look how cool this is. This person download the app. Look at this. I'm going to go to his original calls 5 days ago. 5 days ago, this person never knew about Owwll, downloaded it, and now has 18 reviews. So he took 15 calls. He has 18, which means he made 3 calls, took 15. Show me anywhere else where you can go live on a platform and make money and build opportunities in 5 days and have 18 different people have conversations with you. You know how long that would take if you were on Instagram or LinkedIn to message and get 18 scheduled meetings? You could be really important, but to get 18 in 5 days, it's a pain in the butt. You got to send calendar links, invites, their schedule, your schedule, cancellations, no cancellations, instant calls. So the value is that all these people on the top line are active. So if I scroll through, right, these people are active. We have a musician right there, live, that has 30,000. Then you hit view all and it'll show you the rest. So look, we have Aurea McGarry. Where can you speak to an Emmy winner for $8 who owns a whole entire TV show network? And then we scroll down and you can see, like, I keep going. We have like 20, 30 people live right now that you could speak to. So there's no platform where you could go onto it 24/7 and instantly call people and connect. You could go on Instagram and message people. You could go on LinkedIn and message people, but to connect, yeah, you could do it on Clubhouse in groups, but you don't get your voice heard in a group as often unless you're the host. So with this, it's like you get 100% time with the person one-on-one. And the beauty of it is you could do a filter search. Filter search looks like this. So let's just pick one. Pick one, Raymond. Pick a topic.
Let's try filmmaking. Something I'm not familiar with totally, but it could be of interest.
I love that. I love that one because what's so cool about that is right off the bat, Aurea McGarry shows up and she's an Emmy winner. And literally, you click filmmaking and now you could talk to someone in the industry instantly and get knowledge. And now if you want to look at other people, right, you could literally pick Carl Rimmy. He was on the Owwll Pocket. Look, filmmaker, comedian, right? And he's doing a horror film as we speak. He's not live, but you could follow him. So when he does go live, and you see that button, request to go live? I literally can click that and that will send him a text message. Jason Hill would like to speak with you. make yourself available. Now it's optional for him. Obviously, he
I
gets a text
understand.
message like, do I want to go live to accept this call? Now, very important feature right here. The only way to click it is if you have money in your digital wallet on Owwll. So
I
if
love
I
it.
had $0 and I clicked it, it would say insufficient funds. It will not send out a text message.
Mm-hmm.
That's important because as you get, you know, experienced entrepreneurs that don't want to charge $1, right? They're the founder of Zillow, right? The founder of Netflix. They're going to start charging $1,000.
That's right.
Right. And if they get a text message from Raymond, they're like, Raymond's real because he could only have sent that message if he had $1,000 an hour. So when they make themselves available, they know that it's serious.
And it's a
right?
serious call worth the time. I mean, very few people, I'm sure, are going to be nut jobs, you know, for 1,000. That's why spam works so well, because it's free, right? So I love this. And I'm just curious, Jason, what are you seeing on this? As I look at the name, Denise and Jay is here and Jonathan and all these amazing people.
You want to see it go on? Watch this.
Tell me.
You ever watch any of the Saw movies?
Yes.
Well, look at this. You have the.
Well, yeah, there's the guy.
You look, Saw X.
Yeah.
Look, Jigsaw. Look
Yeah.
at the title, screenwriter and director. He directed the last few Saw movies and the one coming out.
I don't watch him anymore. I don't watch horror anymore, but yes, I know what you're talking about. Curious, Jason, are you seeing here 3 things I'm seeing here as I look at these names and others? A, I can pitch them. That is fair, correct? Because I paid for their time, so I can pitch them on something. Number 2, I may just have a question. And or it's not just making money, I'm guessing, but it is also saying whoever's reaching out to me is more vetted and we can do more business together. If you get what I'm saying, 2 or 3 things I'm seeing that could be here when you add a barrier of money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing because you just brought up something very important, and that's relationship building, right? And often, lots of times in business, people get it wrong. They look at it as a one-way street. Just because I'm calling you and you're charging $25 for a 10-minute call doesn't mean that it's just one direction. All of a sudden, when we start talking, I'm a professional. You're going to be like, what do you do, Jason? Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, you know, I need help with what you're doing because you run 2 podcasts and you have some tips probably that I could take for my show. So all of a sudden, you know what ends up happening? I call you for $25. You call me back for $25. Right? Because like, hey, I want to actually chat about some of the stuff that you're doing. So reciprocation happens.
Yes.
Right? So that's what we see a lot of calls back and forth on the platform because everyone has personal issues going on. Everyone has business issues. It doesn't matter if you're the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. Why would Elon Musk not want to pick someone's brain at a time when he's sitting on the factory floor? There's no one around that has the answer. And maybe it's something, about like Zoom, like you can't figure something out on Zoom. And he's like, there's a Zoom expert live on Owwll, right? Like it could be about Microsoft. Like, you know how hard it is to get through to Microsoft, right? When you have a problem, right? So like, think about like everyone has personal problems, everyone sometimes wants to speak to a medical professional or something on like, on the therapy side, right? Like just have their voice heard. So that's why Owwll's for personal or for business. And it's really for everybody at the end of the day. Because we all run through life wanting to have genuine conversations with people. So yeah, you are correct. It's a 2-way street always. And we are building a chat forum, which is going to be our big hurrah. So think about when you're in Facebook groups, you post something like, hey, does anyone know someone who does this, right? And then everyone starts, getting in the comments. They love referring people. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, but now what? It's like I'm stuck in the DMs on Facebook Messenger. Then they're like connecting to me as a friend, and looking at my family photos. I'm like, wait, this was supposed to be a business, right? So the beauty of Owwll is we are building a chat forum where you could tag people and those people could instantly go on calls with you. So instead of wasting time going back to cutting out all the friction of scheduling, right? But also giving that person little scorecard, like you've given 34 referrals, right? No one ever gets credit for referrals. I'm a super connector. You're a super connector. Does Stars Tina get any credit other than like the words thank you and one day you say I'm going to repay her by giving her a referral? No. But what if there was now a new system that said, Raymond gave 444 referrals through Owwll? It would be cool, right?
Got it. Okay, I see. That's just a badge of that incentivizes you to make more referrals because everybody wants to be kind of acknowledged. Am I correct? Is that?
That's where I'm going.
Got
it. From all the feedback from the community, It's like we kept seeing posts in the Facebook group like, hey, does anyone do this? And I myself run into that. I'm like, I need to buy a camera. I was like, I want to talk to Sebastian Russ. We just mentioned him. Sebastian knows how to start podcasts. He knows audio equipment, right? So like, how cool is it? Is like, if I post, you'll get 3 people like Sebastian, Janaid, Mark Savant, right? So like, all these are podcast experts. So now in the future, let the community tell you who you can chat with.
Yes.
And get rewarded for referring people with that badge that no other platform has. So we're gonna build a really unique thing that's going to be launching in the fall. And we're just really excited. We have a big update coming out in the next 2-3 weeks.
But not an update like Clubhouse, right? Not an update like Clubhouse. Not that kind of update, correct?
No. I mean, that was
not
crazy.
When I hear the word update, I get scared now. I'm like, wait, no, Jason, don't do that kind of update.
I am still in a state of confusion. Like everyone is like hoping Lord. There's like everyone, of course, is like, well, maybe they're geniuses and there's something we do not see.
Could be.
I don't know. It could be.
Plus, they're pivoting totally. They're like, we screw what we built. This is where we're going. Fair enough, right? Everybody.
I don't know. So. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon enough if they're geniuses or it's crash and burn. We will not know until it happens. But yeah, I mean, our community, I really lead by example. I'm in the app and I have the highest amount of calls. So
I'm sure
back to like the early days of marketing, it's like I'm in there. I'm like everyone else. I need connections. I need relationships. Relationships are the fundamentals of every business. So I'm in there like every other user, just making calls. Everyone listening right now, if you become an expert, right? It's $10 per month to become an expert these days, and you get a $10 credit. So it's free pretty much. Just holding you accountable to make some calls. I call every new expert because
got it. And so let me say that so there's a fee of $10 a month to join Owwll, correct?
It's free to join Owwll, and you will get it. And provide everyone your referral code. And then every time they use your code, they will get $10 upon signing up. Right. And then you get $10 for referring a friend. Right. So it's a 10 and 10 model. And then they can make outbound calls. So you don't have to do anything other than an email and a password to get into Owwll to make your first call. It's that easy.
Got it. So I can call somebody, no problem. Got it. Okay, got it.
You could make outbound calls and if you want to then become an expert, you say, okay, you know something? I want to also receive calls. I want to be able to have people be able to search on the platform for me. We require you to put a headshot. We require your social media handles. So that way people trust making a call. They're spending money. We need you to be you. You don't want to call John and be like, okay, what's John? And then there's no headshot. It's weird. I'm like, and people like, no one called me. I go, you have one word on your bio. You have no picture up. I go, why would somebody want to call nobody? Right? That makes no sense in business.
It doesn't.
So people do. So we really cleaned up the platform. We say we're requiring first name, last name, headshot. You can't use a company logo any longer. We will deactivate your account if you try doing that after you become an expert, because you could swap it on us, but then we'll see you. So, and then pretty much, we want it to be genuine professionals connecting, and you have to be who you are. And remember, if you're taking a withdrawal, like, that's real money. We are reporting money, your taxes to the IRS, right? So that's what makes us a step above the Clubhouses of the world when it comes to professionalism, because you could list whatever you want in there, and usually you're not going to get your account deactivated, and you're not held accountable. With Owwll, there's real money, and you got to pay $10 a month just to have a profile, and that really screens people properly, right? Because they're taking it a lot more serious.
Let me ask you about the competition, Jason. Competition being, why use Owwll? There's a low barrier to entry, of course. So, it's more of a fun question here, but why use Owwll when I can use Calendly, which is fair. I can post on my website. If you want to talk to Ramon, schedule a call through Calendly and pay via Stripe, or I can DM people through LinkedIn. Similar principle. You get where I'm going. Clubhouse. If you want to talk to me, schedule a call or whatever system I have to set up. So there is some competition, as it were. But
similarities, I would say.
Tell me. Similarities.
So this is my thing in business, is everyone wants to say, which one do you use? No, it's End, right?
I like it. I like that.
It's End. I use Clubhouse. I don't say there's anything. I love Clubhouse.
Me too.
I love LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn's new audio rooms they've rolled out. I love them all. I love Zoom. I love Calendly. So here you go. It's like, use the one that makes sense in scenarios based on your business. Everyone runs a different business. So ready for this? Like, you're going to use Calendly because you want to jump on Zoom and share screens. You have to share screens sometimes. It's a visual platform, right? When you're doing that. So those will be your expensive calls. That's when you're charging $1,000 for meetings, right? Whatever the number is for that.
Which could have come from Owwll, by the way. Which could have come from Owwll.
Bingo. So the bingo is that Owwll is the networking. Owwll is the intro. Owwll's the appetizer. Owwll's where you start conversations, and then you say, hey, if you want to take things to the next level, go on to my website, click the link, and pay for my time, and we'll do a one-on-one over Zoom, because that's more intense. You're sharing your screen. You're getting information prior to the meeting. Owwl's are instant calls, right? These are calls that happen on the fly. You could do them when driving. So you can't do Zoom and those type of meetings while driving. Well, Owwll, you just call people while you're driving and connect, right? So think about Owwll is more meetings too. The Zooms are going to be less because those are hard to, again, go back to business. And I'm going to go back to my 20s. When I joined the financial service business, 99% of people in their 20s failed. And you know what? My managers would always tell me, and all my coaches,
what would they tell you?
They always said 10, 3, 1. They drew the funnel. And they said, this industry is actually really easy. If you meet with 10 people on a regular basis, if you go into an office and speak in front of 10 people, 3 people are going to be interested. They're going to fill out forms. They're going to give you their information, say, contact me, right? And then one of those people are probably going to do business with you, right? So Owwll's that. Owwll's an opportunity to create that funnel, to call people, to take inbound calls, and go and build clients quicker than ever before. It's a lead magnet. It's leads, right? It's what you want it to be. But there's very few platforms where you'll see people like Stars Tina say, holy shit. Literally, she's like, I was on this for a week and I have a client. You can't download Threads and then like, oh my God, I had 18 meetings in 5 days. Like, no. Like, yes, if you have a big authority on other platforms, it could occur. But for the
Threads, by the way, is the Instagram, Twitter platform. Go ahead, continue on. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's like everyone wants to point to Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, and all these people that, yes, Alex Hormozy, yes, they could post and get business. But for 99% of people,
regular
running
people like
a
me,
business, right? Even me, I'm a founder of an app. I run a podcast. If I post, let's do something, like, no one's lining up. Right. You have to use your words wisely to get meetings.
That's right.
So it's like for 99% of people, when we take out that 1%, which everyone always shines a light on the 1%, like, well, they don't need to do it like that. Well, that's great. They could stick to Zoom. That's awesome. But for everybody else, Owwll is going to build you more opportunities.
That's
more
right.
Opportunities to get on podcasts, more opportunities to get in books, more opportunities to meet people in person, more opportunities to get into in-person events that someone's hosting, and more opportunities to just connect one-on-one to build your real business, a lot quicker. And that's really it. So when you say, like, why change, it's like, you're not changing. You're using Owwll in collaboration with LinkedIn with the message, like, hey, call me on Owwll, for all these incoming messages that you get spammed on, right?
Yeah.
And then all the messages on Instagram, or the old school messaging in Clubhouse, right? Nowadays, there is no messaging, I guess. It's more audiograms.
And that's a great idea, Jason, to tell people to say yes to all opportunities. No problem. Let's reach out. Here, my best way to reach me is through Owwll.
Yeah.
Out of the 1,000 people, the 3 that really want you, they'll pay $17, $20.
Correct.
That's a great point. Listen, Jason, go ahead, please. We're almost at time, but finish that sentence.
I just want to piggyback that, because that's one of the most important things. We have office hours. So for busy professionals like you, it's a habit, and we built the habit for you. You literally go in as an expert and say, I only have time once a week, but it's also the funnel. You are literally telling your audience on your podcasts, on your socials, everywhere, you want to chat with me, I'm available on Owwll. First come, first serve, from 10 to 11 on Thursday, EST. Go on in there, follow me. When I'm live, you could chat, right? If I'm not live, and someone else calling me, like, you're next on deck, just click, to follow you, get a notification when I'm back available. But the beauty of that is all those messages, and we've done a lot of surveys on this. It's very, very important. Go unanswered. People literally have thousands of messages in their inbox from Clubhouse, from Instagram. It's uncontrollable, this problem today. So what do? Is start saying yes to all of them. have a message group. You call me on Owwll. You call me and post your profile to them. And ready for this? If 3 out of 1,000 end up going in and calling you that once a week, look at those opportunities that will come, right? Because they were no opportunities. Because if you never send a message back, the answer is always 0, right?
And one follow-up, Jason, to that point, Jason, one follow-up is that where does it transition, and where are you okay with it? It seems like I have a feeling you're going to say it's okay because you seem to have a heart of abundance. That's what I'm picking up from you.
Thank you.
But you're welcome. Where does it okay to say, you know what, great, you've already, why do 20 times paying through Owwll? Just get their cell now, your friends, and call directly. Where does that delta come? Clearly, Owwll is the marketplace for new relationships and things like that. That's obvious. But where does it come where Jason himself would say, no, just call him. You guys are friends now. Where does that delta happen, you know?
Yeah, we're going to correct you. I think I have a heart of Starbucks right now. That's why I have so much energy. That's why I have so much energy when we do a show at 9 in the morning. There's a different meeting from 9 o'clock versus 4 o'clock. You'll see a different energy.
That's same with me, by the way. Same with me. I wake up at 4:30
a.m.
a.m.
shows in the morning. Very, very part of business. Do important stuff in the morning.
Yes.
So I lost track of the question.
The delta, just calling when it's a friend now and I have their cell and just call them. Just curious that delta.
Yeah, I mean, look, friends are a little different. If you could call, but here's the thing: friends don't pick up calls. You call a friend, awkward, like, why is Jason calling me right at 9 in the morning? Here's the delta. You're live when I'm driving to work at 8 a.m. in the morning. I drop my kids off at school. I'm in my car at 8 o'clock. I can't call you. It's uncomfortable. I see you live on Owwll for $5. I'm calling you.
Got it.
You're my call on my way to work instead of listening to a podcast. And how cool is that? So going back to why was Owwll built? The first thing I said is I was driving in my car and I couldn't chat with people. It was awkward, but everyone was craving human interaction. Well, now you could literally take those car drives and look down your phone, and these are people in your cell phone contacts that you would not reconnect with. They're sitting there. I got like 2,000 cell phone contacts. I never call any of them.
I love it. Yep.
Awkward. But if they were on Owwll, and one example, you saw the notification, Sebastian Russ, right? You saw Sebastian Russ. You would never call him, and I'm sure you probably have a cell phone number. You wouldn't call him, but now you're like, shit, I'm going to call Sebastian. I want to reconnect.
That's right. It feels easier. It feels less icky. I mean, if I had happy birthday, I'm not going to use Owwll for that. But if I want business, especially at that level, like you said, Sebastian or you and me, Owwll makes it more comfortable. Hey, I paid a little bit for your time, and I can use it. No shame. I like that. Might
be our new tag. Owwll makes it more comfortable because it really does. A lot of introverts love Owwll because they always. I'm an extrovert, so I have thick skin, right? So to me, like calling people, like I still do it, and then people are like, "You're just one of those people that never gives a crap." But I do take that into account. Like I'm not like everyone. There's a lot of people that really are super uncomfortable calling anyone, scheduling. So, We'll change. We already got the C over here. We'll just make it more but it's true. That is a huge element. Is there, and that's what's interesting with Owwll. It's right for different reasons for different people. And a lot of introverts like it for the comfortable side that they feel like this is organic, that people are saying yes, so they don't have to like send a pitch email.
Yes.
And that rolled out. I mean, that literally happens all the time. Like friends of mine go on Owwll and I get to reconnect and not feel uncomfortable. So
Jason, I think you're welcome. Every single professional should be using Owwll. One more time, Jason Hill, tell us who you are, tell us the name of the business, tell us how we can find it. Give us that summary one more time to the Ramon Ray audience, please, Jason Hill.
Yes, everyone listening, you head right to the App Store or Google Play Store. Spell it with 2 W's, 2 L's, right? Because Owls are wise, and 2 L's because you're going to love it, of course. Use Raymond's referral code. He is going to put it in the show notes today.
Right, I will.
And when you use his referral code, you're going to get $10. And then he will get $10. And then use that $10 to call Raymond. Obviously, you're a fan of Raymond if you're listening all the way to the end of this show, an hour in, just about, right? So get to call Raymond. Talk to him about anything we talked about during today's episode and then collaborate with him more. Maybe you'll get your opportunity to get onto Raymond's show right through Owwll. Call him, I'd love to be a guest, right? So
I'm liking that.
Anything is possible. When you take action and be an early adopter, right? World is changing quicker than ever, so sometimes you got to be ahead of the curve and get in there before this app gets to hundreds of thousands of people. Then you're like, Raymond told me like 12 months ago it was out.
And
Why
it
didn't I
will
do
get
it?
there. Hey, everybody, listen, thanks for being here on the Rundown with Ramon. I'm talking to Jason Hill, founder of Owwll, the amazing app that everybody's using to help to make connections and monetize their businesses. Definitely check out Owwll. I've downloaded already on my phone. I will be Owwll user number, whatever it may be. Thanks for listening. And if you want to be on the Rundown with Ramon, you can just email me, DM me, find me on here, and let me know if you're loving this or we want to help you live your best life and help you grow your business. Jason Hill, thank you so much.